Hi, this is Jeannie, and today I'm going to make just a little small decoration to go on top of my lantern. I made this little, for Valentine's, I made this little decoration the other day. This is just an artificial tea leaf wreath that I used over and over and over again because you can just change out the bow, change out, some other element, and, make it for any season. So I just did just this little spot of Valentine decoration. And I had this one little heart left over, and it's blue, so I thought I'd make just a bow to go on top of my lantern and use this little heart. Now, this came from Dollar Tree, and it's just made of MDF or something, and I just stapled a chenille stem and ran a wire through it, so I'm going to use that to hang on my lantern, when I attach the bow. I'm making all this out of scrap, so, well, this ribbon I got from Trendy Tree. This is what they call candy glitter, and it's a lime green. They have this in several colors, and I love this pink. I got this off of Carrie's craft table, so I only got just a tiny little piece left, but it'll be enough to just bring in a little bit of pink to my bow. And then I found this in my scraps. Just some turquoise with white dots, and I don't have much of that left, but maybe it's enough to make a couple of loops. I really like using up my scrap ribbon like this. So anyway, I'll use the easy bow maker and we'll get started. Let me push this out of my way. Okay, so the Easy Bow Maker, they sell these at Trendy Tree, and the main thing it does, it just holds your ribbon for you. When you get older like me and your hands are getting a little stiff, it's very helpful to have something to help hold your ribbon. So even though I've got just short ends, I may not have enough to of each ribbon to make even a couple of loops, but we'll see what we've got. I've got another ribbon here that, none of these ribbons are like Valentine ribbon, but since the little heart has got the, little saying on it, it'll work. I have this polka dot ribbon, and I think I'll go ahead. It's a 2.5 inch ribbon, and I'm sure it's discontinued. It's been in my stack for a while, so you just have to browse through the ribbons and find something you like. But I'm gonna start out, it's not gonna be a big bow. I'm gonna make a 6 inch tail. Pinch that up, drop it in the slot, give it a twist, and I'm going to come out to about the 5 inch, like a 5 inch loop on that side, give that a twist, make a 5 inch loop on this side. The Easy Bow Maker has markings for you, so you don't have to guess in anything. I think I've got enough to make 2 loops on each side with this ribbon. I'm going to use that up. I think that'll work out just right. I don't do much in the way of Valentine decorations anymore. I used to do a lot more when the grandkids were smaller, but not anymore. Okay, so that's going to work out just about right. So I've got enough for 2 loops on each side. And I'm going to cut that tail off to match the other one. And I'll dovetail the ends a little bit later. Now, next I'm going to use my green because I've still got plenty of it. I just made that one bow with it the other day. So I'm going to make a 6 inch loop. And this is glittered, and it's heavily glittered, but it's not real, doesn't shed a lot. A lot of glittered ribbons, or anytime you're working with glitter, just make the biggest mess. I'm gonna make this loop 5 inches also, and I'm gonna put 2 on each side. Cut that off. And on anything that's smaller than a 2.5 inch ribbon width, I usually cut those ribbons at an angle. You can do, you know, whatever you like. And like I say, this little short piece, you think, well, it's too short to do anything with, but I'm just gonna lay it right in there like that. And that'll give it just a little peek. And I don't have much of this. Let's see. I don't really have it. Well, I think I can make maybe one loop with this. We'll see. Well, I think I can make a loop on each side. It's going to be kind of short. Let me shorten that tail a little bit. But anyway, the ribbon didn't go to waste. I'm going to make that loop a little smaller. I'm going to come into about a 3.5 inch loop on each side. Okay, that way I've got a loop on each side and some tails. Okay, and I'm going to come back and finish off. Well, I need just a smidgen of red because of the red writing. And all I have is a 2.5 inch velvet. So I'm just going to cut a piece. And I'm going to just split that ribbon because I don't want that 2.5 inch. It's just too much for this little bow. Just going to cut that in half. Just give it just a little smidgen of red. Drop that right in the middle. I think I had my pink inside it. It's a little wide. And then I'm going to finish off with my green since that's the ribbon that I have the most of. I'm going to put that right on top of the red. Give it a twist. Make about a 3 inch loop. And another 3 inch loop on the other side. And I'm just going to end that off. Okay. I'm going to press that down. And I'm going to take some floral wire, just out of chenille stems. I've got to get some. And just roll off a piece of this. Is just some, this is silver floral wire. You probably can't really see it. So I'll lay that right there. It's going everywhere. But I'm gonna also need a zip tie. Sorry, I should have had that out before I started. So I'm gonna press this down and then I'm gonna ease it up off the board. Press that stack down. Get it as small as I can. Get that out of the way. Take the chenille stem, zip tie, and this is kind of a large zip tie. It's a kind of a, wish I had a smaller one. I just didn't prepare very well. And before I pull that down all the way, I'm going to take that wire and run under the chenille stem, under the zip tie, because that's what I'm going to use to attach it to the lantern. Then I'm going to pull that zip tie tight as I can get it. Okay, and then cut off the ends with my wire cutters. Don't use your scissors for that. And then I've got my wire. And go ahead and give that a couple of turns. Okay, and then I'm ready to just fluff out my ribbon. Fluff out my bow. I'm telling you, I can't talk today. Gonna pull all those loops out. Get all that fluffed out. And this is not going to be a big bow. It's just going to be just enough just to kind of sit kind of on top of the lantern, and I may have to trim up these ribbon tails after I get it on the lantern. Got some that are a little too long. Okay. Now, I could go over that zip tie right there with a little bit more ribbon. Well, I'll do that since I've got this little piece of red that I started with anyway. I'll just cut me a little red strip, a little. That's too long, I'm sure, but I'll cut it off. I'm just gonna put that right over the zip tie. You can't see it. Bring it around to the back. Just tie it in a knot. Covers up your mechanics. That's an easy way to do it. And sometimes you could just pinch your loops up to where it's just covers it up and it's not noticeable. And if you just use floral wire, you know, to hold your bow, that's fine. It's just doesn't hold your ribbon quite as tight. And you know, you can go to pulling on your loops, and first thing you know, you pulled one of your loops out too wide. Okay. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my little cutie pie sign and tie it to the top of my lantern, then I'll show you how it looks. Okay, so there it is. Like I say, it's just a very small spot of Valentine decoration. Oh, I do need to I need to dovetail that ribbon. But anyway, it's a great way to use up your scrap ribbon and make a little bit of decoration. Thank you. Oh, be sure to follow my blog, JeanniePence.com.